Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your man, Big B. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty post-game edition. Steelers lose one in Chicago to the Bears, 31-28. Um, just, just bad football again, people. Gee, many Christmas. Look, I'm not saying the Bears aren't a decent team. They are a decent team. Pittsburgh should have won the football game. And we called it on the post game. We talked about it. That nonsense at the end of the half. I said that 3 points is going to come back to bite us. We gifted them a three points. Kyle Duggar, I'm sorry. How many times are you going to drop interceptions that hit you in the damn chest? Like, how many times are you going to do that? And I don't want to pin the blame on him. I'm just specifically talking about that because that 3 points cost the Pittsburgh Steelers. Giving up points at the end of the half that we didn't have to give up ended up being the difference in the game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll also say this at the very beginning, people, just so we're clear. Everybody, including myself, who said, go ahead and give Mason Rudolph a chance. It's fine. We'll be fine with him. Go ahead and put your hand up just like this and just say, I apologize. I was wrong. It's okay. You can admit it. I can admit it. Just go ahead and put your hand up and just say, I apologize, everybody. I was wrong. Because Mason Rudolph can't know. Everybody's screaming for him to get an opportunity, which again, myself included, yeah, we were wrong. We were wrong. So super chats are wide open. If you want to get your comment, question, or rant up on the screen, we got our first one. Champ says it's comical at this point, B. No need to be upset. Been mediocre for years now. I'm not upset. I mean, I thought this was a game that we could have won, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, hey, I was wrong. Mason Rudolph's awful. We can go ahead and say that. And I'll also say this, people, for all the people out there that said, hey, we might as well let Will Howard play and give him an opportunity. I was one of those people that said absolutely hell no. I was wrong. Might as well let him play. If Mason Rudolph's going to give you that, you might as well let Will Howard play. And hey, y'all know me. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to call it right down the line. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, I was wrong. Because it's one of two things. Either Mason Rudolph is god-awful, which that is probably it, or the Pittsburgh Steelers don't trust him to throw the football more than 15 yards down the middle of the field or anywhere down the field, which is probably that too. So then why is he the backup quarterback? Sorry. If Aaron Rodgers can't play next week, Will Howard has to start. I'm saying it right now. And I'm a guy who doesn't believe that Will Howard is the future of this franchise. I'll be first to tell you that. I don't think Will Howard is the future of this franchise at all. But if Mason Rudolph, if that's all he can give us, then let Will Howard play. That's all. Maybe Will Howard's better than that because that was pathetic, people. That was pathetic football by the quarterback position. Now, you could say that Arthur Smith, maybe it was on him. All I know is we're running a 2-minute drill and we complete 2 passes for a total of 4 yards. Think about that for a second. And you could say, well, they didn't have to call those routes. Well, you don't have to throw the ball there. Like, nobody made you throw the ball to Calvin Austin when they have a corner and a safety driving on the football. Nobody made you do that. Nobody made you throw the ball to DK Metcalf on a short slant route when the defender is all over him. Nobody made you do that. Like, you didn't have to throw it there, but you chose to do that. And I'm not saying that's the reason the Steelers lost the game, the 2-minute drill. There was a multitude of ways that the Pittsburgh Steelers could have won the football game. Multitude of ways. But that happened. And Again, if you're not willing to just stand up and say you were wrong, I'm sorry. You just look, that's the one thing, and why people tell me all the time, B, we don't always agree with you, but at least you'll stand up and admit when you were wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. Mason Rudolph's not that dude. That Bears defense is terrible. Let me say that again. That Bears defense is terrible. And the Steelers couldn't exploit it. They couldn't exploit it. We ran the ball in the first half, which did we? I mean, we did, but it got hijacked by that 55-yard run. Now, don't get me wrong. That counts. Can't take that away. But it got hijacked by that. And then when you really start to break it down, you start, okay, let's really dig in here. In the second half, the Bears made an adjustment. They adjusted. The Steelers never did. This is what happens. This is why so many people get mad at Mike Tomlin, and myself included, that say he never changes. He's incapable of making in-game changes when other coaches do. I mean, that's it. You can be the biggest Mike Tomlin supporter all you want. It smacked you right in the face in this football game. You saw it. Not only that, in the second half, the Bears said, fine, Steelers, you're going to stop us from running the football. Well, all we're going to do is play action and throw the ball right behind your linebackers, in front of your safeties, in the middle of the field. And I know you don't know, because you all never get to practice against dig routes, square ends. Like, you never practice against that, because your wide receivers and your offensive coordinator, those routes don't exist in the route tree in Pittsburgh, but they do everywhere else. And we're going to run those constantly, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Think how bad this game would have been if Caleb Williams was just a halfway accurate passer. Like, how many times do we see Caleb Williams miss guys in the middle of the field that were wide open? Think about that for a second. But I promised myself I wasn't going to get pissed. I promised myself I'm not going to get pissed, because it is what it is. It is what it is. Man, it was bad. Again, this is a winnable football game. The Bears are a solid football team, but that's all they are, is a solid football team. They didn't even have their three linebackers. Like, they play a 4-3. All three of their linebackers were out. Do you know what that should have meant? That should have meant that Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth, and Jonnu Smith should have been able to eat in the middle of the football field. That's what it meant. It should have been, we can play action and kill them in the middle of the field. How often did we do that? Like, how often did you even see that? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, people. It can't always be the player. Although the players are bad, don't get me wrong, it's not just them. It's coaching. I can't defend it. I won't defend it anymore. I won't go to the extremes of saying, the crazy stuff. I'm not going to do that. You know me. But I'm at the point, and I'm there. Some of y'all have been begging me to get there, and I've been reluctant to get there. I'm there with you. Steelers aren't going to do anything until Mike Tomlin leaves. Not going to do anything until Mike Tomlin leaves. It's going to be the same stuff until Mike Tomlin leaves. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Until he's gone, because I've always been the guy that said, well, hold on, if Mike Tomlin just changes, he's fine if he just changes. Well, he's not going to change. He's not going to change. He's not going to change. So he's not going to change. I've always been that guy that said, hey, Mike Tomlin is fine as long as he changes. If he changes his philosophy, allows other people to do stuff, then I'm fine with Mike Tomlin being the head coach. Well, I'm at the point, I'm sorry. He's not going to change, and this is what it is. This is what it is. What else you want me to say? Again, I was wrong. I was wrong. I can admit it. I can admit it. I was wrong. There's no way in the world the Steelers should have ended up with 28 points in that football game. After 21 in the first half, the Steelers damn near should have had 40. The Bears didn't do anything to stop the Steelers. We stopped ourselves with the mind-numbing play calling and can't get off the field again. It was just ridiculous. Let's go to some of your all's comments, man. Jason said, welcome to the club. We've been asking you to join the Fire Tomlin Club. I mean, I'm not even in the Fire Tomlin Club because I know they're not going to do it. So you all know me. I don't waste energy on stuff that I know they're not going to do. So that's me. It's like, y'all know me. I'm just not going to waste my time because I know they're not going to do it. And since they won't, it is what it is. Mason with the super chat said, Mason isn't that dude, but under a guy like Ben Johnson, he'd be at least allowed to play like an 8-year veteran QB. That's my whole problem. It's either Mason Rudolph is just awful or the coaching staff is so inept that they don't trust him to do anything. And my whole point is, if you won't trust him to do anything, like, I don't know, throw a football more than 10 yards down the football field, if you won't trust him to do that, except on go routes up the sideline, well, then he doesn't need to play. That's all I'm going to say. He doesn't. Period. End of story. And that's what it comes down to. I'm sorry. That's what it comes down to. Super chat by my man Roger. Big B, I've gotten to the point I hate when the camera pans on him on the sideline. Always have a dumb look when we're losing. I'm over it, people. I'm just over it. I'm over it. I don't know what anybody else wants me to say. I'm over it. I just, and I know as a black man, I have to root for a black head coach. I know, I get it. I'm a sellout because I don't want Mike Tomlin around. I get it. I'm a sellout. Fine, then I'll just be a sellout. Because I've told y'all over and over again, I don't care if the coach or the quarterback is a field mouse, polka dot, green, yellow, blue. I don't care. I just want to win. He's not capable of doing that anymore. Period. He won't change. And when you won't change, and this is the way it is, nothing's going to get any different. My main man, CID, says it's pathetic. Everything lined up for us to take the division this year, and Tomlin pissed it away. Tomlin, Omar Khan, Art Rooney II. Can't forget about those guys. It's not all on Tomlin. Can't forget about those guys too. I'm done. There comes a breaking point that as a man, you have to be willing to stand for something. You can't just keep tiptoeing on the line. You can't just keep doing that. You can't just keep back and forth and back and forth. I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've done you guys a disservice. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done with Mike Tomlin, people. I am done. Sorry it took me so long to get there. I apologize. I'm done. I'm over it. My main man, Justin Gelnet, said the analysts put our playoff chances at 22%, down from 50% as a result of this loss. Doesn't make any sense to get pissed at this point. Why should we continue to sacrifice our emotional equity in this team? Because we're crazy fans, Justin. That's why. Because we're always going to care. That's why. We're always going to care. We're always going to want them to win. We're always going to want all of that. That's why. I mean, if you're a real Steelers fan, you're not going to stop rooting. And I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just saying we're not going to stop rooting for them. We're not going to stop hoping that they change, hoping that they win. We're not going to stop that. That's why. We're predisposed to wanting our teams to win. That's why they call us fans, and fans are short for fanatic. And you notice I'm saying us because I'm part of that. But that's why. I get what you're saying, but that's why. We're not going to stop rooting, man. We're not going to stop rooting. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you, brother. Who wants to live in Pitt? I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people that want to live in Pitt, so I don't understand that crazy statement, but thanks for the super chat. Lots of people want to live in Pittsburgh. Lots of people. So, Ginger King says, best part is B, we're on our way to 6-6 after next week. I don't know. Did you see the Bills play? Did you see the Bills play? Oh, by the way, it's par for the course. The Steelers are going to beat the Bills. They might beat the Bills by 2 touchdowns. Who are you kidding? Who the hell are you kidding? It's par for the course. The Bills stink. Their defense stinks. We can get after the quarterback. They don't protect their quarterback. We know the Steelers do that. We're at home. It's par for the course. The Steelers will beat the Bills by 2 touchdowns, and we'll all be sucked back in. Yeah, we're going to win the division. No. Nope. Oh, goodness gracious. My man, Jason. This is why we need a wide receiver, too. We should have done this in the trade deadline. We should have done it before the season started. Damn the trade deadline. We should have just done it before the season started. And again, a wide receiver, too, that's not going to help guys or the quarterback throw the ball down the field. Like Mason Rudolph, if you don't call routes, it doesn't matter who the wide receiver 2 is. I mean, I saw times that Calvin Austin was open, didn't get the football. But a lot of times we're running 6 and 8 yard routes. Better yet, as far as receivers today, Calvin Austin had 4 catches, but Kenneth Gainwell had 6. Darnell Washington 2. DK Metcalf had 5 catches for 22 yards. You're paying a guy over $30 million to have 5 catches for 22 yards. I just need somebody to explain that to me. Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. You know, Jaylen Warren had no catches. Kenneth Gainwell is now RB1. Just so we're clear. Because, again, Jaylen Warren, apparently the Steelers don't want to play him. So, I don't know. I don't know, people. I'm frustrated. I told myself I wasn't going to get frustrated, but I am. About time, Mike in Texas says, it's about time, B. I'm there. Sorry, I'm there. So, I'm there. Super chat by 333-22 says the Bears were literally starting practice squad linebackers and were too scared to throw any sort of intermediate crosser. Unacceptable, embarrassing. You can't say that loud enough. They literally were down to practice squad guys, and we won't challenge them over the middle of the field. We won't run a crossing route to save our life. If you said, Arthur Smith, you're going to die unless you run a crossing route on 2nd and 7, you're literally going to die. You're just going to blow up. He would rather blow up than run crossing routes. I'm convinced of that. Here's the thing. I know guys that have played in the NFL. They say it all the time. Coaches would rather be right doing it their way than win not doing it their way. I believe Arthur Smith is one of those people. I believe Arthur Smith believes I'd rather win. I'd rather just do it right and do it my way than win doing it somebody else's way. I believe he's one of those people. I absolutely believe it. Super chat by Jordan said the loss is on the OC, but you're right, needed to evolve. Yes, the loss is on the OC, Mason Rudolph, Mike Tomlin, he hired the OC, Omar Khan, we still don't have a good roster. I'm sorry. It's not just one person. Art Rooney II, you're the one who keep these guys around. You know? Oh, by the way, you see Derek Harmon there. How come on the goal line Derek Harmon wasn't in the game? Like when they ran the ball right up our ass, on the goal line. Why do we have Keanu Benton, the 305-pound nose tackle, in the game? He was on skates. Cam Hayward was on skates. Some people were trying to blame Patrick Queen. I'm like, you can't blame Patrick Queen for that. His damn D tackle was in his lap. What's he supposed to do? And you know I'll blame Patrick Queen, but what's he supposed to do? It was an ugly game. The Mason Hope delusion must stop. Bin trash. You're right. You're right. We can't defend it. We can't defend it. There's no defending Mason Rudolph at this point. Super chat here. And again, thank everybody for supporting us, and we always get beat in the middle of the field. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We constantly get beat in the middle of the field. Mason said, at this point, I've given up whatever we needed for Waddle. Why, though? My question is, we could have Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and Terrell Owens all as our wide receivers. If the route tree is going to be the route tree and the offensive coordinator is going to call the plays that he's going to call, what difference does it make? That's why I said there's no reason for the Steelers to give up this draft capital for wide receivers. They're not going to use them. They're not going to use them the right way. So what difference does it make? They're not. They're not. Justin with the super chat. We appreciate you, man. Said every loss this year seemed to have a distinct turning point. Getting stopped on downs after the questionable fumble recovery call at midfield was that point today. Yeah. Yeah. Or you could even say giving them 3 points at the end of the half when it should have been an interception, and maybe we have an opportunity to go down and get 3 points. You could even say that. I mean, we gift wrapped them 3 points at the end of the half. That's a problem. That's a problem. Pokemon, the refs had a significant impact today. They called a bunch of penalties, but it wasn't one-sided. Like, I didn't see that the game was one-sided, the refs. Did you? Did you all think that? Because I didn't think that. I thought the refs were bad, but I thought they were equally bad. They threw a flag. It seemed like every fourth play they were throwing a damn flag somewhere. But I didn't see the refs were terrible today. I didn't see that. So, and I could be wrong. I just didn't see that. So, that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, we got to get this guy out of here. I'll make sure. We got to get him out because enough is enough. Enough is enough. Oh, man. Anyway, I don't know if Pierre cost us a timeout. I mean, he got hurt. I mean, I know what you're saying, Jessica, at the end of the game, but I mean, if the guy's hurt, he got hurt. You can't blame him for getting hurt. So, Steelers should have kept George Pickens and need a new quarterback because Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there next year. I mean, I think everybody knew the Steelers needed a new quarterback, but I mean, keeping Pickens, and again, we could say that they would look good with Pickens. Would they, though? I mean, would they look good with Pickens? They don't use what they currently have, so what difference does it make? But the whole thing about this, like, Arthur Smith can't be the offensive coordinator next year because this is what he wanted on offense. He wanted all these pass-catching tight ends. Like, he wanted all of this. And now this is where you are. Yeah, I'm just can't do it. Can't do it. Super chat by your boy. He said, man, wide open missed. D can't guard tight ends. I mean, tight ends, anything over the middle, anything. So, anything. Anything. Thanks, Big Measy. We appreciate you, brother. Mason was restricted in the beginning. It seemed like it. And like I said, if the only passes down the field that they think that Mason Rudolph should be throwing or go routes up the sideline, then he can't play quarterback. There's no reason for him to play quarterback. So that's just me. That's just me. He shouldn't be able to do it. I just, Jiminy Christmas. Oh, it's frustrating, people. I know you're frustrated. I'm frustrated. But it is what it is. And again, we can't sit here and not admit when you're wrong. Like I said, I'll say it again. For all the people out there that said, hey, Mason Rudolph is fine, give him a chance, I and we were wrong. Period. End of story. Period. End of story. Roger with the super chat. I think they would. The Toms have thrown downfield in 50-50 situations, and the wide receiver haven't come down with it. Pickens go. But the problem is, how many times did they throw 50-50 balls that were out of bounds or underthrown? Like the ones today, they kept getting underthrown. Well, George Pickens ain't doing anything with that. Now, Pickens is great at 50-50 catches. Don't get me wrong. That guy, he was unbelievable. But if you underthrow him, what's he supposed to do? So, and if they throw the ball out of bounds, what's he supposed to do? I just know that we have a wide receiver that we paid over $30 million for that had 5 catches today for 22 yards. That's all I know. 5 catches for 22 yards for $30 million. If that's all we're going to do, the Steelers need to trade DK Metcalf. Just be done with it and start completely over. Just start over. So, like I said, Mason Rudolph, and again, I'll say this too, like I mentioned earlier. If this is all you're going to get out of Mason Rudolph, all the people that called for Will Howard to play, and again, I don't think Will Howard is the savior to this franchise. I don't think he's going to be any more than a backup quarterback. I don't think he's going to be good enough to be any more than a backup quarterback. But Will Howard needs to play. If that's all we're going to get and that's all you trust Mason Rudolph to do, then just play Will Howard. Just do it. Just do it. So that's all I'm saying. Just do it. Just do it. And move on. And move on. Because like I said, I mean, yeah, I guess Will Howard could have been worse than that, but we would have expected him to be worse than that. We thought Mason Rudolph was going to be fine. And he wasn't. He wasn't. So he wasn't that. He wasn't that. So Perry 86 hiding behind a keyboard. Maybe you should stop talking. You act like the Bears defense is any good. It stinks. And it was worse today. The difference is the Steelers couldn't do anything. Jeez Louise. Yeah, the Bears defense is not any good. Hadn't been good all year. All year long. But that's the way it works. That's the way it works, people. Missed opportunities. So, it's ugly. It's ugly, ugly, ugly. Reginald with a comment says, y'all say fire Tomlin, but when he win a Super Bowl, don't jump back on the train, stay off. Well, when's that going to happen, Reginald? Let us know when we can stay off the train. Let us know when that's going to happen. And first of all, and let me just address this, people, so y'all don't even have to address it in the comments. That's an ignorant statement. Because, number one, people want the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. That's all they care about. So if we don't want the coach to be there, because he is incapable of doing the things required to win, so what? Number two, if he happens to change, which is the only way that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win, is if they change, then isn't that what everybody wanted him to do? To change, to do the things that are required to win? That's all anybody's asking out of Mike Tomlin. Nobody's asking Mike Tomlin to cure cancer. People are asking Mike Tomlin to change the way he coaches, to allow assistants to do more, bring more assistants in, play more modern day football for one reason and one reason only. The only reason that they want people to do that, people want him to do that, is so that the Pittsburgh Steelers can win. That's all. So I get it. You love Mike Tomlin. It's fine to love Mike Tomlin, but don't come in here and try to bash people and make ignorant statements. And number one, not think I'm going to call you out on it. And number two, act like everybody's wrong. They're not. Everybody's not wrong. They're not wrong. Okay? And here's the thing. There's going to be some people that don't like Mike Tomlin, and we all know why. Okay? But most people don't like Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin won't make the necessary changes to win at a consistent level, to possibly win playoff games anymore, to get to a Super Bowl. He doesn't coach like that anymore. That's why the majority of the people don't like Mike Tomlin. I get that there, and I'll just say it because I'm not afraid. There's plenty of people out there that don't like Mike Tomlin because he's black. There's plenty of those people, but that's not the majority of them. The majority, like myself, want Mike Tomlin to change. Just change. That's it. That's it. Change your philosophy because it no longer works. That's it. That's it. And again, there are plenty of people that don't like Mike Tomlin because he's black. You're lying, or people are lying if they don't believe that. Of course there are. Hell, somebody admitted it in my chat. I said, so you don't like Mike Tomlin because he's black? Yes. What are you going to do about it? There's plenty of people that believe that. But that's just not the majority, man. It's not. It's not the majority. And it definitely isn't for me. And I'll just speak for me. It's not for me. This is my channel. That's it. That's it. So you can be mad at me all you want, and you can tell me to jump off the train and never jump back. I root for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't care who the coach is. But I think the one thing that I think people get bent out of shape about, and the national media doesn't say enough of this, they believe that there's only one person on earth that can coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because what do you always hear? Well, if you get rid of Mike Tomlin, who are you going to get? And my thinking is there's no other human being that's walking on the face of the earth that can coach the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is that what we're saying? That nobody else can coach the Pittsburgh Steelers? Only him. That's it. Only him. Stop it. Stop it. I'm never going to believe that. I'm never going to believe that. Ever, ever, ever. I'll never believe that. Because guess what? At one point in time, the Steelers weren't coached by Mike Tomlin, and they were pretty good. And they hired guess what the Pittsburgh Steelers did? They hired an up-and-coming coach named Mike Tomlin, who was pretty good. We can't do that again? That doesn't exist? No up-and-comers? Just nobody? Stop. Stop. Stop the nonsense, people. We got to stop. But back to this game. I could go on a tangent for that forever. I don't want to do that. Steelers this is a game they should have won. And I don't want to hear this is a game they should have won. I agree with the whole thing about Aaron Rodgers not playing, though. Aaron Rodgers got a broken wrist, man. I mean, again, he would have played if he wasn't going to compromise himself. And he was. Either he couldn't take a snap, he couldn't hand off the ball, he couldn't protect himself if he got hit, or if people, and we saw it today, pass rush comes, they knock the ball out. What if they slapping him on the wrist? Yeah, he couldn't play. I mean, and people that have broken bones in their wrist, it usually takes a minute for them to heal. 7 days, not enough. Sorry. It's just the way it is. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm frustrated with the win, but I don't like the nonsense either. I don't like the nonsense. Jason with a good comment here says Marcus Freeman should be the next candidate for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, we don't think Marcus Freeman. I don't know anything about him. I know he used to play in the NFL. I know he's a pretty good coach at Notre Dame. I'm not even saying he's the guy, and I don't want to get into talking about who the next coach is because y'all know how I am. Until a decision's been made, there's no reason to constantly go down the road of talking about who the next coach should be. It doesn't do us any good until there's a decision made that he's no longer the coach. So until that happens, it is what it is. It is what it is. All I know is something has to change. I mean, today was the perfect example. You have a backup quarterback in. The Bears' defense stinks. Not to mention, this quarterback has proven that he can make plays in this league. It's not that Mason Rudolph hasn't proven that he can make plays. He has. But either one, he can no longer make the plays because his arm is a noodle. Or number two, they don't trust him to do any of those things. And Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin just decided, hey, man, we're going to stick to this game plan, and we're not going to even attempt to put the ball in harm's way. We're not even going to attempt to do it. We're not going to throw it down the middle of the field. We're not going to throw it over 15 yards. We're not going to do any of those things that are usually required to win football games. We're not going to do any of that. And we're going to see if we can eke out a win. Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Defense let you down. They made a change. Caleb Williams throws for 239 yards, and he was about as inaccurate as possible. 19 for 35? 19 for 35 is what Caleb Williams was. But he threw for 3 touchdowns, 239 yards. You know, we got to him once. We harassed him a little bit, but we got to him once. But you knew you weren't going to get to him a lot because, again, the Bears, he's elusive, and the Bears' O-line is not horrific. Not horrific. So, but TJ Watt made a play, but I said this in the pregame. I said, if they use Darnell Wright to block TJ Watt one-on-one the entire football game, TJ's got to wreck the game. Well, he wrecked it, and then they stopped blocking him one-on-one, which meant on the other side, Nick Herbig, you have to be able to beat their third-string tackle by yourself. You have to be able to do that. Nothing. So that's what it is, people. That's what it is. This is not a good effort. This is not a good look. It just, Arthur Smith was bad. The defense was bad. But the defense did enough to get enough stops. But 31 points, that's not good enough. That's just not good enough. And then when they wanted to run the ball in the second half, they were able to do it for the most part. But total yards, they still 328. The Steelers still had more total yards than the Bears. I'm just flabbergasted. But 159, when you take out the sack yardage, 159 yards passing is absolutely pathetic, man. Come on. What are we talking about? 159 yards passing. Jeez Louise. Couldn't exploit that. There it is, Yancey. Couldn't exploit third-string linebackers. Everybody involved should be ashamed of themselves. Everybody involved should be ashamed of themselves. So give credit to the Bears. Give them credit. Give them credit. Hold on. Wait. I haven't listened to Mike Tomlin's press conference. Did he say that today? Did Mike Tomlin say we got issues with the collective and that carried over to the football game? Did he really say that today? Please tell me he didn't say that. Please tell me that's not what he said. Oh, man. I'm over it. People. Look, I appreciate everybody being in here, man. Look, tomorrow the report card's going to be out. I'm sure it'll be ugly on certain spots. The report card will be out. All 22 will be out on Tuesday. The big show on Tuesday night will be here. Look, we're having a full range of shows because we don't do anything on Thursday, which is Thanksgiving. We don't have a live show or anything on Thanksgiving. So we'll be around all week. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. If you're not already a member, make sure that you sign up. We got a lot of stuff over there to be a member. All 22, we got a certain group that gets the entire football game that you can watch, the All 22. Make sure you guys check that out. We also have the watch party that we watch every game. It was live in there again today. People were frustrated as hell, just like I was. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, look, I'm not Debbie Downer. Y'all know me. I've never been Debbie Downer. But there comes a breaking point where you as a man or a woman have to just say, I'm drawing a line in the sand, and this is where I'm going to be. And since we started this channel, April 4th of 2024, so what is that, 20 months ago? I have been going back and forth on the Mike Tomlin line. A lot of you guys call me out for it, and I've been going back and forth. I am no longer going back and forth. Until Mike Tomlin changes, which he's proven he won't do, Steelers aren't going to do anything. And if I'm wrong and he doesn't change and the Steelers win a Super Bowl, great. I can be wrong. I don't care about being wrong. I literally don't care because that means my team won a Super Bowl. I don't care about being wrong. That's all I know. That's all I know. So I just frustrated, man. Just frustrated. Should have been a win today. But it wasn't. So, oh well. It is what it is. We'll try again next. And I know it. The Steelers are going to beat the Bills. And I'm just going to be like, oh, my God. Oh, but it is what it is, people. It is what it is. So, hey, I appreciate all you guys, man. I love you. Thank you for showing up. And if I don't talk to any of you all, which I should, but if I don't, everybody have a good Thanksgiving. But again, remember, like, follow, subscribe. Do me a favor, man. Click on this, hit the like button when the video goes off, and go and leave a comment. I want as many people to be able to see what we chopped it up in here about today. So appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.